Guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at physical EZA Kid Buu over here on the Tech ZAMASU team using Tech LR ZAMASU and physical Rose. Obviously, I want to see these guys going crazy with the 70% support that they are going to receive from physical Kid Buu. I noticed, like, coming into this, we didn't have the best starting rotations. However, I was going to see, there's a few attacks in slot 1. This is what I want to see, right? Because if we do this, then we have Big Bad Bosses active for ZAMASU. Only Big Bad Bosses in Fierce Battle. But he is going to get hit 3 times at the start of the turn here as well. Which means that he is going to get his passive, like, activate a couple of times. So then with the 70% support and Big Bad Bosses active, his attack stat would be quite interesting to see, considering this is turn 1. He's going to take a couple of hits, and he's only got 2 links active. We'll see what he's able to do here. So tanks everything for double-digit damage, and then so 12.7 million just turn 1 after being hit 3 times with only Big Bad Bosses active. That's pretty good. And then we got Kid Buu attacking Spopovich here, just in case we did get the crit. He only has 20% on turn 1, but it means we're going to get hit a whole bunch of times here. There's one of the dodges. So I talked about this when I did the showcase. By giving him full dodge, I feel like it doesn't matter too much. Like, he got attacked 4 times there and he dodged 1. So you could say, well, you know, if he hadn't dodged that 1 attack, he'd be fully built up now, which is true. But he only needs to get hit once more, which really should just happen the next time we're taking attacks, so we should be fine. Now, what kind of rotation do I want to get set up? I need to get... I mean, realistically, I'm going to run, like, Int Buu with Buu tanks, and then just have Kid Buu floating, because he supports everybody. So, realistically, I just need to float off Rose. So, we'll start getting some stacks for Buu tanks here, and then we can go ahead and do this. Rose potentially won't even get a chance to attack, but he doesn't carry over any attack or anything like that. The only downside, of course, for having Kid Buu as a floating unit is that we will be very unlikely, unless we get the right RNG in terms of the rotations and have AGL ZAMASU coming into slot 3 on that turn, which we don't, because I think it was in slot 7. We won't be able to really get the early domain with Rose. So he needs a full super bosses team in order to, or rotation, in order to be able to do that. And of course we are going to have Kid Buu floating around. But get some stacks off for Buuhan, and then ZAMASU, not that crazy when he hasn't been hit first, but of course still more than capable of taking out Yamu here. And then we go on to the next rotation. So now we have AGL ZAMASU and Kid Buu. I want to keep Kid Buu here for now, just because I want to see the combo of ZAMASU and Rose with him on rotation. So that's like the #1 rotation I'm looking forward to seeing. So if I float him off now, then obviously we're not gonna, it's gonna be a good few turns until we get that comeback. But this should be like the last few hits that you need. I mean, if you have this set up as well, so he's at 330 defense there, or it'll be 317. So he's not getting a huge amount of defense, but he gets a lot of attack links. Like Godly Power is another 15% attack. Fused Fighter, even though it was originally just Ki, with the link level update, gives a little bit of extra Ki as well, extra attack and defense. Dismal Future is crit chance, so he's not getting a huge amount from the links, apart from, you know, it's probably around what, 20% attack and some Ki, which we don't really need. So we've been hit. Is he fully built up after this? He is, yes. So yeah, 18.8 mil. And that's just from him having the support from Kid Buu, Big Bad Bosses, and then Fierce Battle. So that's pretty good. And then 13 million on the 12 key. We might just be killing everyone now, because, yeah. Okay. So Kid Buu just absolutely juicing ZAMASU here. And Kid Buu not going to get that 3rd hit in. It's alright, because of course post super with Big Bad Bosses active, he's easily rocking over 600k defense, and then he has 40% damage reduction currently because he's been hit 3 times. So we're not at any risk of him like dying here or anything. So we'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll get the super off for you, and then I guess for you as well. And now we'll be lining up for the turn that I really want to see. Now, I would very much like if we could get Int BUU to revive, but it's not really necessary for this setup or for this team. Obviously, him getting the revival is good. He's the only Int BUU on the team because we're not running his team. So it's very... I found when you run him on this setup, it's a bit harder to get his revival. I mean, realistically, with mine being at 55%, and how good the BUU tanks can be, I could arguably just run a rotation of BUU tanks and then Kid BUU, but of course I won't be getting the support. You could put Evil BUU on instead of Int BUU. I guess Rainbowed and Easy Aid, the Tech BUU, is potentially better than Int BUU. It's nice to have the revival there as like an insurance policy, but there are so many runs that we do where we just don't actually get it, so... And then, of course, being 55%, mine doesn't do a lot of damage. He's never critting, whereas the Tech BUU obviously can do quite a lot of damage. So, I guess we'll see. But purposely attacking into type disadvantage here with some of these guys so that we can just get as many turns as possible here to see these various different interactions and these different rotations. So, I mean, ZAMASU is just going to cook on this turn, right? He's fully built up now. Of course, the Rainbow Orb RNG is absolutely terrible for this turn, because of course it is. So we got Big Bad Bosses, Dismal Future, Fierce Battle, and Nightmare, which is in and of itself another 15% attack. So let's go ahead and do this. I really thought that would drop down the Int Orbs and maybe connect to the rainbows at the top, which it did not. So I guess now we are going to do this. And then I guess just grab these. So, not the best turn for Rose, unfortunately, without the orbs, but ZAMASU should be, yeah, 20 mil again here. Pretty good. 13 million crit. Yeah, very nice. Alright, so, doing a lot of damage here. Okay, good. I wanted to try and make sure we didn't kill Barbady here, just so we can get the, as many turns as we want out of this. Floating off for Kid BUU as well means getting a free extra turn to just finish off Barbady, means another turn closer to him coming back. And then we'll have the double BUU rotation. And then that probably just finishes off the BUU and Barbady. So this team, very, very strong. It's funny because on Global, like, we could try the Buuhan red zone, like the BUU absorption one. Because, like, this team is probably just too good for the shorter events. Like, Kid BUU getting the additional super here is really big as well, because that's just a ton of extra damage that he does. So I think we can be probably fine to go ahead and do this. What are you up to now? You haven't really built up that much, so I'm going to do this. Hopefully if we get immediately supered and actually get a revive here, that would be nice for Int BUU. But let's see. These guys do super in slot 1 fairly regularly, but of course not now. Never when we potentially want them to, of course. But that's alright. Now, that's the only problem, I guess, with Kid BUU, is with any slot 3 floating unit, is Kid BUU's going to provide so much to this team, but if you're floating him in slot 3, then obviously it means it's going to be a while until he comes back around again. So I probably should have kept him on rotation with Rose, so that we could then get, because I think next turn we will be able to get Rose's domain. So it would have been very interesting to see him with Kid BUU on that turn. I think I'll jump into the Buuhan red zone, the absorption one, because it's a bit longer. Maybe we won't go all the way through it, but jump into that one so we can get a few more turns out of these guys, because I really want to see them all like fully built up and then getting this support from Kid BUU as well. Rose on that domain turn with the Kid BUU support will just be so good. Especially if, like, you get the right RNG, get all the rainbow orbs. I put up a video recently, I think was it him versus the Buuhan red zone stage anyway, where we got the really good RNG, and he did so many super attacks, it was up to like 20 mil by the last one or something. Now imagine all of that, but with 70% attack support from a unit in slot 3, and then he's just going to be absolutely insane. So, alright, so let's go ahead and I guess we should, I want to just try and kill him here. Domain with Rose. Depends on what we get with the orb change as well, to be fair. Because I don't want the video to be too long, and if we do the entire Buuhan run, that's going to be easily 20 minutes or so. Wow, he didn't change any orbs. So I'm guessing the candy orbs can screw you over. Or actually, no, because it can randomly choose orbs that aren't on the field, which I think is really stupid. So that means that the RNG for his orb change picked tech orbs, for which there are none on the field. So kind of annoying. I guess we'll leave it there and switch over to... Let's go over to the Buuhan event so we can get a slightly longer run going on. Okay, so... into this stage, very similar setup for the first turn, but we do have Rose actually in slot 3. So this first phase can last a little bit longer, so I'm going to try and save up rainbow orbs for when Rose appears, because then that rotation can be certainly quite interesting. I guess with both the ZAMASUs floating, I could actually just keep the rotation so that we have, like... I mean, Kid Buu's just not good in slot 1, which is just not good when you fight difficult events. I was going to say, because I could have, like, Kid Buu slot 1, Rose slot 2, and then have all 3 ZAMASUs floating, so Rose always gets his links, which would be super good, except that he's just not going to be, you know... Kid Buu's not going to be good in slot 1, unfortunately. And this is one of those instances now, because I'm trying to show off a very specific build for the team... I've got Kid Buu in the middle where there was only 2 attacks and we did dodge one of them. So I feel like it's like every time Kid Buu dodges an attack, there are going to be people that will say like, this is why you shouldn't give him full dodge. But of course he would have been in slot 3 on this rotation. And on average, he's going to dodge maybe 1 attack out of the ones that are coming. Because with 24 dodge, that means it's literally only 24% chance to dodge, which is not really, you know, it's not a lot, right? It's not like a super high chance that's going to happen. Like, if he had a built-in high chance to dodge already, which obviously would be kind of counterproductive to his kit, but if he had a high chance to dodge built in, then I wouldn't give him, I think, probably any extra dodge. Maybe 3, because I'd like to give units 3 dodge. Because you do want him to get hit to get that build-up, but because he has no dodge in his kit at all, then obviously having that little bit extra... There's going to be those times where, you know, big boss super attacks are coming in and it doesn't proc and he potentially dies. And that just is what it is. But having that 24 dodge, there'll be situations where he could have taken an attack that would do like 3, 4, 500k and then he just dodges it instead. And earlier on in the events is usually where it's safer to be taking the hits and not worrying too much about dodging. So we can put him in front of extra attacks if we need to get him built up quickly. Like, for example, even if you're running the Buu team, if you don't have him on the same rotation as Buuhan straight away and you want to get that like big bad bosses pairing as quickly as possible, I mean, normally you want to wait to transform Buuhan, but as an example, you could just keep him on main rotation on the first turn if there's more attacks in slot 2 than there is in slot 3, especially if you're fighting an enemy where, let's say it's an int enemy and you're going to have type advantage. Then obviously you could go ahead. I actually can do this because there's no attacks in slot 1, which is pretty funny. Yeah, you could just go ahead and hang on, let me... Man, I thought those other int orbs would fall down, but that's fine. But yeah, keep him on main rotation so that he's getting hit more times early on, and then as the event is getting harder towards the end, then float him off. So like here, for example, we can put him in slot 1 because there's no attacks. Now he's got the extra 20% damage reduction. So he's got 40% damage reduction on this turn and still has anywhere between like 6 and 700k defense. So he takes double-digit damage from the super attack. And then there's a dodge. So we still need 1 more hit. So overall, we've still gotten him almost fully built up already. He only needs to take 1 more attack, and then he's going to be good to go. But already, with the defense he has post-super and 40% damage reduction, he's already in a good spot, right? And then, of course, Rose, getting a bunch of the additional normals, unfortunately. The more supers he gets, of course, from his RNG from different parts of his passive and hidden potential, the higher these numbers are going to be able to go up. But, I mean, this is his first appearance here with ZAMASU and then the Kid Buu support. And he's already doing up to 10 mil. Because I really want to get the actual transformed rotation with him. Like I say, we don't need to beat the whole stage with this team. I just want to show off some of the stuff that we can do here. And by getting the ZAMASU floating, we're going to have the AGL ZAMASU come around on the next turn round as well. So that's going to work out quite nicely for us. So you can grab these, you can grab these. Like, the team has decent healing anyway, but like once you start throwing on all these Buu units as well, like I think this team's just really good. I feel like a lot of the time in the past, whether it was like Sworn Enemies or technically Worldwide Chaos or any of these other things, it was always the most beneficial to stick to, like, you know, all Future Saga, all Wicked Bloodline, all BUU, like that kind of thing. But on this Tech ZAMASU team specifically, especially now that Kid BUU can be there as a support, and he has some of those BUU links as well as big bad bosses, having this setup where we have like one rotation be Buuhan and then the Int BUU, and then the other rotation is ZAMASU and Rose, and then both of them just benefit massively from the physical Kid BUU support. Like, personally, I feel like this is a really good, really solid team build. So, only speaking from experience, of course, as a global player, but I very much cannot wait for the anniversary content and trying out some of these teams and all of these units that, of course, for global are coming out before all the anniversary content. Also, like, I think Rosé's probably coming to JP soon. But yeah, the more we can use Rosé, the better, because I still think people massively underrate Rosé. So the more we get to use them, the better. So we can't use the domain just yet, but again, we're very lucky there's no attacks in slot 1. Now, Kid BUU, actually, I shouldn't put Kid BUU in slot 1, should I? This is the only problem. Attack and defense 250% when performing a super attack. So that's actually something that completely had not crossed my mind until right now, is that if he gets sealed, he doesn't get that buff. So as long as BUU doesn't super him, yeah, we'll tank normals for double digits, that's fine, because we have the 60% damage reduction now as soon as we took that first hit. But because he didn't super, he didn't get that 250% buff. So he only had 200k defense, but fortunately with 60% damage reduction. So that's something that you have to be very careful. There's not many events, of course, like it's this new red zone stage really that is the trouble. But there's not many stages that seal your super attacks anymore. But that is something to bear in mind, of course, that if Kid BUU gets sealed, that buff, because he's a super easy A and they could only buff his passive and they didn't touch his super attack effect, he needs to super to get all of that defense. So that is definitely something to think about. I didn't realize until literally we got into this turn and he got sealed. And then it's like, he's not going to get that buff. But fortunately, tanks all normals anyway. AGL ZAMASU with the support over 8 mil here, considering he's been on rotation once as the base ZAMASU and was then floated off. That's pretty decent. Sadly, only one super for him, though. Want him to get as much build up as possible. But it is what it is. Alright, and then we're all set up here nicely. I think we should hopefully be able to finish him off this turn. Although ZAMASU is sealed, and of course my Int BUU being only 55%. Though I think with how crazy this BUU team is, like, I didn't want to go back into the BUU banner, because like I don't like summoning on these special 3+1 banners once the 3+1 is gone anyway. But of course we'll be saving for whatever's coming next on global. But with how crazy the BUU team is now and how good he is on like this team, for example, it does really make me wish I had a dupe for this BUU, so it could give him some crit. Because being at 55%, the silver skill orb I gave him was for additional, so he has 0 in the hidden potential for crit. So he literally cannot crit because he doesn't have any in his passive. But it is what it is. He's still very good, and obviously he can sit casually in slot 1, let BUU tanks go off in slot 2. Obviously on this turn we did get the guard, like he's just perfectly fine here. And then unfortunately ZAMASU being sealed, which means we're not actually going to finish him off here. So how do I want to do this? We should be able to use the domain. Wait, what turn is it? Yeah. So I mean, I guess I do this. This is what I wanted to see, but this is the turn I want to see. But the problem is that Rosé's just going to kill him if I do this. So realistically, I should do this and then just wait until the next time around, which is annoying, but there's not really... it's just a shame we didn't kill. Like, if we had killed him on the last turn, if ZAMASU hadn't been sealed, then we'd be on the first turn of the next phase now. And this would be great as a place to use the thing for Rosé, but unfortunately not. So, yeah, I mean, Rosé will finish him off here anyway. But although I suppose we didn't get any rainbow orbs, so as there were none to get. That's the only downside, because I like using Vados on this team build with the double ZAMASUs, but obviously by not using her, We don't really have anyone on the team that creates rainbow orbs. I feel like they should... Rose should have just created rainbow orbs in his passive, like pre-transformation as well as post. I mean, he did get 3 supers in a row, which, considering we got no rainbow orbs, and he's only got big bad bosses and fierce battle active, it's not bad. But anyway, so we got to get through this first turn. Now, I should have bought an item. Because he... Is it him that locks you? No, actually, no, it's the physical one that locks you, isn't it? So he'll be fine, actually. Yeah, good. That would have been really annoying otherwise. Alright, so let's try and save as many rainbow orbs as we can over at the side here. And then obviously we can go ahead and use the domain of Rose on the next turn. He's also going to get the Dokkan attack. So this next turn for Rose is going to be pretty good. And this is what we have been waiting this whole time to see. This is the one turn. This is what I want to see, is this physical Rose in his domain next to ZAMASU with the 70% support from Kid Buu. We've got some rainbow orbs left on the field as it is. So then with his own rainbow orb changing, we should hopefully get a nice amount of orbs for him. And then, of course, you know, physical Rose when he's in his domain form, you do only have the 10% chance for those additionals to become supers, but we've seen a couple of times if you can get one of those actually convert into a super, the extra boost it gives him is crazy, right? And that's when he can end up doing like 20 million attack stats on his last super, and that was without Kid Buu. So I'm looking forward to this, the numbers on this next turn. Yeah, Buu tanks with the guard. As long as we've got, yeah, we've got enough HP that we're above the threshold for Kid Buu's full support. That's what's important. Because, yeah, we want that full 70%. Alright, so here we go. So we lose a bit of health at the start of the turn, but that's fine. Do you actually get any extra links from Kid Buu? No. Cool. Right. So we'll go ahead and do this. I should have turned the animations off. I forgot they're still on. But that's alright. It's Rose's time to shine now. Okay, come on. Give me the good orbs here. Every orb type is on the field, so okay, perfect. We can get 4, which is, I mean, can't say fairer than that. So 4 rainbow orbs for Rose. We'll grab these for you, and then grab anything for Kid Buu, I guess. All right, well, here we go. So let's see how we get on here with Rose. 70% support from Kid Buu. We're going to get the Dokkan attack. Obviously, for Rose, being a character that builds up, the Dokkan attack is not going to be the craziest. I mean, his attack stat is what? 4.8, basically 4.9 million. He is not a Dokkan attack, like, great character, right? Because it's his later attacks that are going to do the big damage. So the first one, only 4.9, basically 5. It's the follow-up attacks that we want to see. Because every attack he does, whether it's a normal or a super, is buffing him via his passive. And then his super attack effect is giving him the extra buffs anyway. That's one of the additional normals becoming a super, I'm pretty sure. So that's 8.8. Because I think he does all the additional normals first. So 8.8. Then we got to 11.3. Okay, I think we're getting the godly RNG because we got 4 rainbow orbs. So we should be doing a bunch of extra attacks. 14.2. Come on, Rose. Keep them coming. Don't kill Buu too early, though, because there you go. We want to keep seeing these bad boys. Was that 14.2? 19.5. I think he can still get 1 more if it's the hidden potential. Yeah. 23 million. It's crazy to me how much people underrate this Rose. 23 mil. And his defense is like well over 2 million at this point as well. Now, of course, in his domain form, he does lose out on all of his damage reduction after he's attacked. So he's got 2 million defense, but then he doesn't have guard or damage reduction or anything like that. So any of the bigger bosses, especially STR ones, will potentially still do like some solid damage like this. But I don't know how much this Buuhan actually does with the super. But I don't know whether he would do damage to Rose or not, but I mean, there you go. That is Rose just going absolutely crazy on this team, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section using physical Kid Buu on this team with ZAMASU and Rose. Rose, I think, will be continue to be underrated. Well, probably forever, because he'll come out. What will happen is he'll come out on JP. Then a bunch of people will just start posting clips on Twitter of him getting super attacked by STR Blue Gogeta and dying. And then everyone will act like he's bad when... Obviously, like, when we get crazy turns like that, I just think he's a really fun unit to use. And when we get turns like that, that's why I like using him. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Kid Buu, absolute monster, just juices up all these teams. I'm going to try him out on the AGL 21 team next as well. Yeah, just what a great Super Easy A. They knocked it out of the park with this guy. And having him on this team, giga buffing that Rose. I mean, think about how many times he attacked. Like, if he just did 2 supers and one was 19 mil and one was 20 or 23, that would be good. But he did multiple ones before that and even an extra normal attack or 2 that did some damage if they crit. So, yeah, Rose definitely looking very good here thanks to Kid Buu. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.